we're going to begin with the women's #1 sex need. And women reported to us, in fact, 65% of all the women said this, that we as women need affirmation and appreciation in our marriage. And we need it, Gary, not only behind locked doors in the bedroom, but we need it the other 23 and a half hours a day. It's the way that you talk to your wife. It's the tone of voice. In our communication with other couples, tone of voice is such a big indicator for us as women. You know, in your communicating, when you communicate to your wife, say the words, I love you. What did you hear? I love you. It was just, I love you. I threw it on the floor. It didn't sound like much, did it? It was, I love you. Only 7% of that entire message were my words. In fact, 55% is my body language. I just kind of threw it down like that. 55%. It wasn't like, I love you.
Yeah, baby, come on.
Oh, yeah. So then I'm going to go look right into my notes. And 38% is tone of voice.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I'm going to tell you that your wives are really tuned into your tone of voice. Doesn't matter if you're saying something really wonderful. It doesn't matter if you're leaning in but she can't see you. It's all about the tone of voice. So, Gary, what I thought about is if we really got down to basics, because sometimes a man will say, just give me the bottom line. If you really want to have sex with your wife tonight, think about how you're talking to her all day long. Do you appreciate her? It sounds like, gosh, you did such a great job today. I was so proud of you. Or it may sound like,
guys. These are pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, baby.
It was like appreciating.
Did I say how striking you look tonight?
And you know what else? Sometimes it's like, you are such a great.
And did I say? No. Yeah.
It might be like, you're such a great, you might say to me, you're such a great mom or a great grandmother, or you've been a good friend. And those are all very affirming for us as women. So much of the time we look to you, our husband, to almost help us with our self-image, because the older we get, it's always it's an issue of comparison many times for us as women, even from when we're very, very young. But as we get older, we're still in that sensitive place. And when we can let you know that if you're mindful of that, then you can be continually serving and building us up. And so when I look in the mirror at times, sometimes I'll think a thought, but then it's almost as though you're standing behind me and I can hear you saying something so kind. Gals, doesn't it just change your heart? When your husband speaks these kind things, it tenderizes you and it draws you to your husband. So I would guess the only other thing I want to say about affirmation is what really makes me feel safe and trusting and very secure is when he only has eyes for me. Yeah. What woman doesn't want her husband to just bing? It's got to be about us, because for a woman to be open and vulnerable and real and authentic, she needs her husband to kind of get past the failures, because we all make them, every one of us. And when my husband gets on me and he'll say, it's okay, don't be so hard on yourself. You did great, now get back out there and do it. That's amazing. But also, when he just steps up, believes in me, creates the atmosphere of trust, and I know, I have a strong sense he only has ears for me and eyes for me. And ears is he's listening to my voice. Eyes, he's focused on me. And so when we're in those places behind locked doors, one woman is enough. And I love it. Every woman needs to be the only woman in her husband's life.